Welcome back to Just Jackin' Around. No, it's been a while. I know I've been a long time no see. I did a lot in my time off, you know. First things first, I turned 24. Shout out. If every year of my life were an hour, I'd be a day. That's a weird feeling, if I'm being honest. Strange movie, strange day. Very busy day, my life. The wee hours. I think I was a fun baby. It's just my mom's birthday. That's how long the gap's been. I'm an Aries, my mom's a Taurus, so it's been like a month since I've seen you guys. I am sorry. But I was looking at baby pictures of myself. I was not a cute baby. I was a little bit on the fugly side. Fat and ugly. That was rough. But I was also way more ginger than I am now. I've aged much better than I thought I was going to. I've become hotter with age. I was always told I was an old soul as a kid, which, yes, I was depressed as a kid. But also, people still think I'm an old soul, and I'll take that. I got some old school suffering around here, storybook-wise. After my birthday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, I went to Jamaica. Wagwan, my dear. Shout out Jamaica. I'm not gonna do the voice that much, guys, but I used to work with a bunch of Jamaicans. They were in our kitchen, J1 program. Shout out, Chef Dano. Partied with them all the time. Great time. If you ever have the chance in your life to party with a Jamaican, you absolutely should. You should also ask them what they do to frogs in their youth in that country, because the answer might surprise you. Okay, and it's not as gross in a cruel way, but not in a. I'll end on that. Anyway, love Jamaica, love Jamaicans. Kind of crazy that Rastafarians, you super pro weed. Weed is their connection with God. In my experience, weed sometimes can make you a little gay, but they're super homophobic. So I think that's kind of funny. Also, that they're, jerk chicken is one of their most famous dishes, making cock meat delicious. I'll say it with Chick-fil-A, I'll say it with Jamaica. Don't make delicious cock meat if you're going to be homophobic. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Or maybe you're mixed messages. I don't know, man. I don't know what you guys are trying to do besides make eating cock delicious, but then being mad at gays. It's just a strange message to me. Mixed message. I went to Jamaican KFC, one of the best in the world. Very long line. I went to Montego Bay and the Grill. Shout out my boys Shanoy and Shorn, who I got to stay with, and then shout out the girls Sasha, Nikisha, Shanique, their kids. Taught some kids to swim a little bit. Classic camp counselor vibe. It's not that hard to teach your kids to swim and to ride a bike. I'm going to start, and to fill my lack of father hole, I'm going to start stealing these moments from other fathers, because why being lazy, dude? Believe in your children. Don't call them slurs for reading. Looking at you, Dad. So I got back from Jamaica. I was only there for a few days. Working. I'm like, dang, I got to do this thing. But a lot happens. 420 rolls around. It's feeling good. I'm looking for an apartment because I'm moving at the end of this month. This will be the last setup in this stew. So take your good little peek. I'll be moving closer to the lake because a funny thing happened. Number one, here, my landlord, Mark Fishman, do not stand. He owns so much land in Logan Square. Evicted a Palestinian woman for hanging the flag outside of her window. Not gonna get too political here. That's a little fucking ridiculous, and I don't stand a greedy bastard. So, on this very building, it says Mark Fishman is a parasite on the outside of it, and you see the outline. They tried to clean that up real quick. It didn't happen. So yeah, and then after that, on May the 4th, be with you, Star Wars Day. Shout out Star Wars. I was robbed at gunpoint. Yes, I went to work. I came back. I went to a karaoke bar on a first date, and it went well. I love karaoke. Slay karaoke. Shout out Alice's in Ukrainian Village. Shout out Fred. I sang some Sublime. We sang some Doors. I don't stand Jim Morrison as a person, but as an artist, there's a lot of those out there, guys. It's kind of wacky. There's a lot of cracked jewelry on these folks. And anyway, date's going well. We were looking forward to it. It's there. Chemicals were flowing. It was like, yo, whoa. I haven't felt this way in a minute. I was getting flustered. We were taking it home a little early. I like to get home around 4, because the robbers get sleepy too, boys. But we went home at like 1:30, which is a no-go on Friday, Saturday, I gotta say. We were one of the first in 5 robberies in 1 hour. We're on the news. Gray SUV pulled up with an older guy and 2 younger fellas in the back. And the 2 younger fellas in the back pulled out guns. I wasn't sure if they were real or not. And I'm going to be honest, I was more angry than scared in the situation, which I am thankful for. But, they were young fellas. Not like children, but like, this is a better beard than either of them got between the 2 of them. And there were some skinny punk bitches. Excuse my language. I'm a little peeved, grinded my gears a little bit to have pistols rubbed in me and my date's face. And anyway, one of them pistol whipped me and the other one pistol whipped her, and they took her purse and my wallet, and I had $10 in my wallet, and somebody found her purse on the side of the road and put it in her mailbox, because Chicago has a little bit of good and bad. And all they took was her fucking cigarettes and nicotine. And I got pistol whipped, and we got pistol whipped over $10 of nicotine, which is pretty dumb, pretty stupid. And I'm glad I was with someone. We did call the police. All right, I know people are all about that ACAB, but I had just been pistol whipped, and you can't let that be happening. They shot at someone, not us. But they didn't steal my Switch, and that's what's up, because I had a bag on. But she started screaming their license plate after they pistol whipped her. And by the way, not that hard of a pistol whipping. Like, son of a gun, dude. If you didn't have a gun, I would beat both your asses up and down the street. Anyways, you hate to see it. Yeah, so that was a lot. So forgive me for not posting a podcast, guys, but I've been up to a lot. Then Cinco de Mayo happened. Like the next day, had some tequila and tacos, worked it off. I had a little bruise for like 3 days. It was really, I've had worse, and the date, that was a low point in the day, but the date did not end there. We came in to mine, hung out a little bit. We're like, this sucks. She really needed a cigarette after that. Understandable. Went back to hers to go grab something, and the date ended well. But definitely a low point. Definitely don't recommend that for anyone. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm moving to a quieter neck of the woods. But, Logan Square is kind of like the Brooklyn of Chicago. And now Brooklyn's just getting a little rough again, boys. So, yeah. Then Mother's Day happened. I just missed a flight to Nolans, to NOLA, to No Love, to... Yeah, bummed I didn't get to go. My friend's mom lives there, and we were going to hang with her and eat delicious food. Turtle soup even. Gata. None of it, guys. But I do get to film this, so blessing in disguise. I'm finally not putting this thing off. Yeah, I'm back. I'm doing okay, considering. Excited to move on to new things. It's been really wild. Jamaica was really, really beautiful. I'm trying to travel more. I'm trying to, chase divine beauty and see the world as much as I can. I want to be a man of the world. And how am I supposed to do that when I've been in Indiana for so long? I do like being a city girl. I'm going to say, having a gun in my face, I was like, I can shake this off. It'll be all right. Jamaica was life-changing. Some of the most beautiful. I'll put some, PowerPoint type beat coming in with some of the sunset pictures I took, because literally one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in my life. Delicious food, always. I've never had a bad dish touched by Jamaicans. Excuse my pants scruffling. I am rolling them up because it's getting toasty in here. I turned off my 3 fans. I don't have any AC in here, nor my next place, so I have to buy an in-unit. But my next place is close to the lake, so I will be swimming, even though there's probably a lot of dead bodies in there. Actually, not probably, there are. And hopefully not Asian carp, an invasive species in Lake Michigan that we really need to keep an eye on, because they've already been there messing stuff up. But there's coming up from the Mississippi River, populating like crazy. It bothers me a little bit that Chicago's not like more on the cutting edge of, like, and it makes sense because it's an old school industry town, but it should be more on the cutting edge of like freshwater filtration, because it literally lives on one of the largest freshwater sources in the world. It's the biggest city on the lakes that I am aware of, at least Lake Michigan. And, you know, if we're not absolutely killing it in that industry, why? Why aren't we doing that? Why are there not some vertical farms downtown using lake water that it recirculates and recycles? You know, this is a water management. Chicago is killing it at, but like, I don't know if it's the most efficient. I don't know if we're filtering pollutants out of stuff. There are some lead pipes around, which I'm not a fan of. Checks out though. So, and that's like older buildings that haven't been updated, and I'll give them that. But like, we should be, you know, have a little head to the faucet filled with carbon or something and silicates that can filter nasty crap like that out of our water. Chicago should be making them out the wazoo. Chicago be #1 exporter of these things. But alas, here we are. I love nature, and I very much miss nature as well. I went back to Indiana to see my mother recently, in between her birthday and Mother's Day, because I'm a good child, you know. Shout out. Elder child, sibling rivalry type beat. I do love my sister. I am going to see her hopefully soon. Maybe we'll get another podcast episode out of it. Maybe it'll be a little duo type beat. I would love that. I originally planned on hosting this with her, but now we're just jacking around, baby. So, where was I? Oh yes, I saw my mother. I went back home to Indiana, saw the cornfields not yet seeded, saw the little tufts of soybean first emerging. A lot of green, so much green. And Chicago is a greenier city than like Indianapolis. You gotta give it that, you know? And the train ride was beautiful. It's fine. The South Shoreline's finally in one piece. Again, I don't have to get on a bus in Gary, Indiana, which is the last place you want to get on a bus in. Shout out cities that if at the end of the world you just wanted to climb the tallest building, which is probably like 20 stories or tops. That's actually very generous. And just take pot shots with a sniper rifle, and everyone would be like, this is just business as usual. That's the town. That's the town to do it. Not pro-terrorism in Gary, Indiana. I'm just saying, if people would be like, yep, that's some shit that would happen here, that's Gary, baby. We might not be Florida, but Indiana's got some rough spots. An ex of mine, her father was born the year Gary was like the murder capital, and he just be having the name Gary after that fucking city. Shout out Michael Jackson though, that came out of that. Just not shout out him looking at his buttholes, but he had that talent literally beat into him for sure. Which, hey, if it ain't broke, guys, my father could have beat me more. Yeah. Saw my mother, read through her notebook from the 1990s, 93, when she was a junior in high school, and she popped over here. A lot of references to pornos. So, sounds like the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. I am the whorish child of the two. Yeah, but I come by it honestly, all right? It sounds like both parents were on that, and it's crazy to me that people were, some were very funny, but some were definitely using 90s words that we don't always smile upon today, nearly 30 years later. Actually, directly, factually 30 years after that. Oh my God. My mom's about to turn 50, and she had me when she was 24. She's never seemed old, and she looks great. Shout out my mom. Having a hot mom is annoying. I will say that. She came to one middle school lunch, just popped me by. Never heard the end of the after that. The guy, Jackson's mom has got it going on. I'm like, guys, I'll beat your ass harder than I beat this Oedipus complex off. Bam! I'm not doing it. Stay out of here. My dad already died, and I didn't kill him actually. So, and they were divorced. They didn't have that back in ancient Greece. Get out of here. I'm actually have a fantastic vision. Knock on wood. Yeah, I got that 2020. Still didn't see that shit coming. Am I right? I did not use that joke enough. We do live in a world where I'm trying to get back on track after that sort of thing. And then the strike happened right after. So I'm trying to be in my show busy vibes, guys. I recently dodged another scam also. That was the thing that happened since last time. A little talent agency that wanted me to pay for acting classes in order for them to sign me. Couple thou. I'm not about it, if I'm being honest. And it felt scammy immediately, but I'm going to be honest. As a second time, I try to be an honest man. I like the attention. It's classic. It's how they get you. They get us insecure, kind of good-looking folks. They told me I was good, and I was like, ooh, really? Can I get more of that? But I need to go to auditions and get rejected. I don't even know where to go, and that's my problem in Chicago. Any tips? Would love to know, but I ought to know, and I don't. People have told me stuff. I'm looking on Facebook. My social media's dead, guys. That's next step. I'm getting my website going. Shout out my buddy who's making that thing for me. He'll probably be on here one time or two. He's an interesting young fellow, a gay little goblin who has a lot of stories. Very storied man. Sounds like I'm introducing him, but I'm not. I will do something similar though. He is a spunky little guy who's just been through a lot. He's like 33. Love him to death though. And he's working on my website because he's a web designer as one of his jobs. And on there, I'm going to have the podcast, obviously, some photography stuff, some video jazz, and also some music. I'm being the jack of all trades that I aspire to be. I might draw some comic book stuff. I might feature other artists' things that I collaborate with. That'll probably be more on like Instagram and Facebook, which I'm bad at using. I'm getting better, and I'm gonna do more. There's just been a lot happening. Guns were pointed at my face, guys. And I like to claim that it's not that traumatizing, but I'm gonna milk it. I'm gonna milk it for a little bit. It's honestly fine. They're like, do you need an ambulance or anything? Or like, nah, chief. I was still more horny than anything. If I'm being honest, this date it's poor timing. I also fell on Mother's Day. I was hanging out with them again, which was cool to have a second hangout. If guns are brought out at the first, it was kind of rough. I went to a 2011 party with them and another friend of mine. Very cool. I acted a fool, apparently. Rough. But we also did a song circle that was really lit. And I gotta be watching my foolishness. I'll say that. I fell. This is actually a lot better looking than it was, but now I got a hand dussy because I got road rash falling off a Lime scooter trying to get to work at like 8 a.m. on Sunday. And there was a speed bump and a pothole immediately after. Bad mix. I was holding on to my phone like a map, which is bad, and you shouldn't do that because you're not as stable. And wibbly wobbly. I was worried about my shirt first thought. Stupid. Need to care about my wrists. But hit my little knee. Not that bad, just annoying when you have an open wound on your hand and you have to cover it every day. Super, like 4 Band-Aids because it's spread out. Because you're working food service and you got to be covering that and cleaning it a lot, which is not, it's not infected. It's healed decently quickly. These are broken, so I'm taking these off. I just was trying to be a cool hippie guy in my cool hippie outfit. Got my Jamaican earrings on. Shout out Bird, Nolly. I'm not supposed to say names, but they're not on anything. Just in case I needed a whiffle bow bat. Super cool. Love handmade jewelry. Shout out to all my friends that make their own stuff, whether that's crocheting or knitting or working metal or ceramics. It's just really cool to make stuff, people. Anyone can be an artist. Everyone should be an artist, in fact. It's an important muscle to stretch. It's like a part of your human experience to create things. Don't just be destroyers. Don't just be consumers. Make some, at least a little bit, just to understand. Just like how some people think everyone should like serve to learn compassion for the people that give you food or make your food. I think everyone should work back of house, front of house for sure. If you're gonna like be a dick at a restaurant. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just empathy is not that hard. Give people some mile in their shoes type beat stuff. It's not crazy, in my opinion, to try to form a deeper understanding. There's still more that unites us than divides us, man. We're all suffering on this same ball of mud that we're trying to change for the better. You know what I mean? It's hard to have hope. It really is. Middle school cynical me was killing the game. This is a fun town to be an anarchist in, I will say. Yeah, peace and love above all. Hippie wins. Hippie wins in my mind and my heart. I'm trying to be on the hippie dippy vibes. I had a good bit of the ganj in Jamaica. Pretty comparable to Chicago. It's legal here. It's lovely. I think we should use hemp for way more than we do. We have beautiful plants and opportunities that we don't properly utilize, and it's a damn shame. Speaking of, I may have to stop for a little bit of a smoke break, brought to you by these commercials that I'm going to make up. This episode of Just Jackin' Around is brought to you by the unmatched beauty of the natural world. If you aren't soaking up a sublime sunset or basking in the sweet delight of a walk as a cool summer breeze brushes past your cheeks like the tender touch of a lover long ago, then get the hell outside and enjoy it before it's gone. This episode is brought to you by near-death experiences. There's nothing like the realization that life is precious and oh so fleeting. So please, treasure every moment you can. It can all go away in an instant. And finally, this episode is brought to you by Better Late Than Never. Hey, shit happens sometimes. And just because you stumble and fall or skip a step does not mean you're done walking that path. You gotta get right back up and keep on moving forward. And we're back. Yes, that is something. Shout out the date I was with when we got pistol whipped. I'm gonna mention it a couple of times. Very talented artist. I will be putting up more of the art from people in my life around me, especially the Just Jackin' art. I'm trying not to be too narcissistic. I'm working on it for sure. It's historically I've been a lot more of like a problematically give up parts of myself or say yes people pleaser. Like I'm very much a people pleaser, so I haven't been like super. I just don't think that's been my number one issue. So if this is too egocentric, I'm gonna have to. But I come from self-hatred, so it's like, you know what I mean? It's never been, hey, narcissist is coming around the corner. But I don't know. We'll see how this goes. We'll have lame art too. We'll have equal measure. We'll have an angel and devil of Jack art. I'll just make a bunch of Jack's Stanks art. Or I'll let my sister be in charge. We'll have the Roast Jack's episode or something like that. Yes. Anywho, I am wearing yet another pair of shades that were lost for a while. Love these things. Yeah. One of the annoying things about this Israel-Palestine situation, not to get political again, innocent people shouldn't be bombed. That's my thoughts on the matter. And there's a lot of like boycotting of things and stuff like that in Chicago. But like, I'm not a big social media person. I don't always know what's up. I wish there was just like a Google Doc sent my way that's like, hey, don't go to these places, because some of the places I thought I was cool to be at, and then turns out no, actually, the person who owns this is a big Israel supporter, or yada yada yada. Most time it's that, because there's a lot of old Jewish money in this city, and not a lot of old Palestinian money in this city. So it's a little bit young people defending that. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on in the world, and we're not talking about like the war in Sudan, which has been kind of back and forth my entire life and super undercovered. Like South Sudan's on the globe now. That's the new one of the new markers to see how old something is, and it's about oil again. And like, why is blood being shed for oil in this day and age? Still, we're trying to be on the next product. Solar energy is the cheapest form of energy available. I don't know why the Sahara Desert is not like, hey, let's build 3D printers that can turn sand into solar panels and just fucking make limitless energy almost. Whatever, guys. You can privatize the desert now with solar energy. I don't know, we're not rushing to do that. We're trying to get that oil. Like it's 2004 and not 20 years later. Why did we stop doing nuclear energy? I'm still very mad about so many things. The environment is one of my number one concerns in any political race. And out of these presidential candidates, I'll tell you, these main party leaders don't seem to know what's going on. And then I got RFK being the anti-vaxxer, and I'm not like against vaccinations, you know? I'm a rub some dirt in it kind of guy. The streets of Chicago are in me. And I'm in the streets of Chicago. You can take me out of Chicago, but you can't take Chicago out of me. I got the street in my hands now. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish we had a Teddy Roosevelt type beat president. Loved the environment. Also hated corporations and was a badass. Love one of those right now. But there's a lot of slime balls and geezers, and that's not what I think the government needs a bunch of, if you're asking me. So 2024, not that exciting of a year. A lot's gonna happen. I'm just gonna try to get through. I'm gonna try to travel more, guys. I'm gonna try to take you with me maybe for the next one. I'll do a little, put together a vlog or something. I don't know. I, again, am not trying to be some flashing me all the time thing, but if I can get paid to travel, if I can see the beauty of the world and share it through my eyes to people in a way that's impactful, I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to be pretentious about it, but that would be a dream come true. If I can like bring awareness to coral reefs, restoration projects and stuff like that, like if I can inspire hope in some way that the world does not have to end by our hands, greed does not have to be the answer, you know, love conquers all type beat. That's what I'm trying to be about. And I aspire to be good enough to not have anything get in the way of that. And that's a real ass goal. I also like to be silly and do comedy. I think laughter is one of the most beautiful answers, one of the best defense mechanisms for the human soul, for sure. So, you know, I'm still working on that. I'm trying to at least get a tight 5 out of getting pistol whipped. Yeah, I brought it up again. One of my coworkers was like, ugh, are you talking about that again the day after it happened? Get real. But it was also an attractive woman, so if you're gonna be mean to me, boys, it helps. It helps to be attractive if you're gonna be mean to me. And not way older, like around my age. Perhaps slightly older, not way older, though, because the daddy issues, they're real. I'll put me on the offense for sure. Yeah, I'm coming out with more stuff. I'm making more art. There have been setbacks. I'm moving forward. I'm getting in touch with some old friends of mine from Ball State, Just Tech, and I hope to make more with them. I'm moving like right near the Laugh Factory, trying to go up there more. I will still shout out Cole's, trying to go up there this Wednesday for the open mics. I'm just doing open mic stuff right now, but if that pops off, I'll try to be better at it. I want to do a lot of things, and I know stand-up comedy is definitely a thing that you really want to focus on if you're going to make it in it. So I'm giving it an old college try. Too many people have said, Jack, you look like you need to be the lead singer, or you're in a band, or the lead singer of a band. I got to be on that a little bit, guys. So forgive the selfless, or the self-promotion, the ceaseless self-promotion. I'm trying to be my product. I'm trying to sell it, guys. It's the only product I can stand by because I know exactly what into making it, and I'm trying to have it be as ethical as possible. And we are, and have been, taking steps to that effect. Thank you very much. I'm trying not to be a shitty person. Yeah. Another thing that happened, my friend lost my keys for a night, but I think my luck is changing because we got them back the next day because we kept a level head. They were all right, all those people that said it's not about how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep on fighting. Shout out Rocky Balboa. I wish I could do a Philly accent. That's like one of them that I actually really struggle with. And I'm working like Baltimore, like a That's about it. I'll go there someday and figure it out. I am trying to go to Scotland and do a Scottish accent so good they can't tell me apart from their natives. That's not that great. But I'm working on it. I'm gonna go to Glasgow, drink a couple pints, see who can outdrink me, outlast me. I'm gonna do the same thing in Dublin. That's right. This is a little cringe. But again, this podcast is in its infancy. There's not that many of us watching, and also I'm not that productive with it. So we're trying to fix these things. I'm getting this out in the early stages of this son of a gun. Just Jacking Around is back. It's still gonna go. It may get bigger. It will have guests that aren't just me again. It's just easier to do this. And again, I need a little bit of slack for this top half. I'll make it up in the back half of the year. Pinky swear. I'm going to record batch episodes. I'm writing, editing. This isn't really that written. I'm just mostly talking. Editing. It's not that great of an editing job because it's just me shooting on my phone. I have a camera. I have microphones. I need a better medium in between the two and to talk to someone more knowledgeable or to be better at Googling things because I do not make the most of this information age. Inshallah, I'm trying my best. I love you guys that do watch. Heart. Smile. Try not to trauma dump and use this as a video diary. It's not what I want, but this was a catch-up episode, and for the future episode, what I'm getting into, what I'm trying to be up to. I want to have cool people on. Definitely trying to get more in the comedy scene and get more comics on here. That's really the most important part of comedy to me, is hanging out with people that just want to be silly and do bits. That's my favorite part. So if this just ends up being a way to do that, I'm happy. I just want to jack around, baby. If this ending part feels dragged out, it's because I'm waiting on a friend to arrive that flies out of here tomorrow. And that's kind of where I'm cutting things off. But alas, I know not when they arrive. I'll probably go like 5 more minutes or something like that. Hope you like these ads that I made up for earlier to bring you the smoke break sponsored. I think it's crazy that weed was only legalized in Jamaica in 2015 when it's been going on for hundreds of years there. And I also think that they have a very bad system for, it's not like America has a great system either for having people that were growing it for years when it was criminalized, stupidly it was criminalized, and now are getting pushed out of the market when it becomes a legal business. I really think that providing native workers who know the land and know the plant and have like literally made the culture of it, both from a botanical and social standpoint, should not be cut out from the fruits of their labor, the green fruits of their labor. And also, we don't use the plant well enough. Hemp is better than paper so much of the time, especially for like bags and stuff like that. Like, it's a strong biodegradable material. Ropes used to be, like on ships, used to be made of it. Bring it back. I would love to sail on the SS Mary Jane. I'll tell you what. Shout out my great-grandmother named Mary Jane. And that's still alive. That's so crazy to have a great-grandmother and no dad. If I'm being like 90-something and then 41-year-old. Shout out Chadwick Boseman. Same kind of cancer, same age. Rip the Boseman kids. Wakanda forever. Sorry if I'm all over the place. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little not right in the head, as they say. And boy, oh boy, I hope you're ready for me to splurge my mental delusions on camera over some more time. Hopefully with friends. Hopefully with a theme song that I'm gonna actually write. I've been working on some stuff. I've been jamming. I'll give you guys a little. That's just gonna be bad. But I'm working on stuff, all right? I pinky swear. Maybe I'll even DJ sometime. I'm just adding a lot of things to the resume of things that I've done. A little list of roles I've played. So, life experience. I'm shoving as much in as I can. I've just turned 24 a little bit ago. People think I'm 30 already with a divorce and 2 kids. So, clearly it's showing. I moisturize, I try my best. Guys, I'm using sunscreen. Not enough, obviously, ever. That was the thing. In Jamaica, I got burnt bad. I got roasted on my back, and I was a little too embarrassed to ask my rather dark Jamaican friends to get my back. And they totally would have, but I thought I had it. I had a spray bottle of 50 SPF. I went like this, and you could see the line of where I sprayed was not rubbed in. I gotta see a dermatologist, bad boys. I gotta see a urologist and a physical therapist too, because I had a left nut injury and a lower back injury, and that's like an ACL tear in the slut games. You gotta be fixing those things. And I haven't yet. Because the doctor is scary. But I have insurance, so I must conquer my fear and be a responsible adult. I just am probably, everything's kind of waiting on this move. And I am very close to being approved. I'm at the background check stage, and I really need an approval because there's 10 days left, and I have to be out of here by Friday on the 31st by noon. So it's make or break time, and I really don't want to shove all my shit in a studio, or not in a studio, in a storage unit, and couch it for any amount of time. That would suck dick. And badly, with teeth. That would be it would just be all around no fun, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm not about that. I'm not about no fun. I'm not about no fun. I'm about silly, wacky, goofy, just jacking around. Stuff has been happening in my life, but I'm not going to let it stop me. Ain't nothing going to break my stride. Ain't nothing going to slow me down. It's not going to stop me from just jacking around. I'm not gonna do a parody song for our main. It's gonna be original. I pinky swear. But again, love, shout out everyone. We won't go on the odd. I'm gonna get out of here and greet my friends, and perhaps smoke again, as is my right. I can't smoke in my new apartment, so I'm trying to soak it in as I can. But I do get a rooftop, and I'll be just finding a cool spot outside. I'll just suck in the winter. But until then, that's me figuring out AC. Big ass closet, might make it the studio. It won't be probably because there's just so many clothes in there. Bye.